Bitcoin was listed on the Chicago Board Operations Exchange on Sunday. A Bitcoin futures contract works by users agreeing to buy or sell a specific amount of the cryptocurrency once it reaches a predetermined price in the future. For more on this, I'm joined by Simon Dingle, live from our CBOE studio. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News, Simon. What effect has the Bitcoin futures launch had on the value and perception of Bitcoin?
Well, I think it sent the price skyrocketing for one, and brought a lot of volatility to the Bitcoin price. In terms of perception, I think that now that we have a way for people to invest in, or rather speculate on the price of Bitcoin without having to directly hold it themselves, it's opened up, a whole sort of tranche of new investors to this new asset class. But the short story is that the Bitcoin price has skyrocketed.
Bitcoin prices have climbed by more than 1,700% in 2017. Many are saying that this is a bubble and the price has to come down and will crash, bringing in even these new investors down with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like speculating on where the price is going in the future, but it is quite interesting seeing the market try to value Bitcoin, and also this perception that Bitcoin is a bubble. Of course, we can't call anything a bubble until it pops, and one of my favorite quotes is that all money is a bubble that hasn't popped yet. Mm-hmm. Now, if you compare, and it's quite common at the moment to see people comparing the price of Bitcoin to, for example, the price of a company. So they'll say the market cap of Bitcoin is now roughly a quarter the market cap of Apple as a company. These are interesting comparisons, but they're ultimately meaningless. Bitcoin was designed to be digital money. It was designed to be a currency. It certainly isn't that right now. We're in the store of value phase in the evolution of the technology. But if we think about Bitcoin becoming successful as a currency and moving beyond the store of value stage, then really we should be comparing it to, for example, the value of gold in circulation or to global monetary supply. And as a percentage of those two other classes, Bitcoin really is undervalued at the moment, depending on how you look at it. So as astounding as the growth of Bitcoin has been already, it still has some way to go in its complete evolution. Now, how long will it take to get there? I personally think it could, be the better part of a decade, if not longer. So there are going to be dips, and they're going to be severe dips. But to call them a bubble bursting, I think, is short-sighted.
Let's talk about a group within the Bitcoin community, holders, if I'm saying that properly. Take us through who they are and why they're so interesting.
Yeah, so they really are holders by the definition, but in the community they refer to as hodlers. Memetically, there was a misspelling of the word on a Reddit thread, and so we don't call them holders in Bitcoin, we call them hodlers. And these are people who really buy into this vision of Bitcoin becoming a currency and essentially displacing the central banking system. So these people are not in it for the money, and you do see eyebrows raised when you say that. There's a lot of cynicism around it, but they really have proven this. These are people who started investing in Bitcoin before it was even worth $1 in some cases. They bought in again at $5, $100. They saw the price rocket to $1,000 in 2014. They didn't sell their Bitcoin then. They saw it come back down from $1,000 to in the $100 range. They didn't sell then. They saw it skyrocket recently up to, of course, $15,000 and beyond to today, where it's hovering around $17,000, and they still haven't sold. These people are crazy. They're the best kind of crazy, and they're trying to change the world. And they really are the core of the Bitcoin community. So I think another consideration when we're talking about the price of Bitcoin and market movement is that these people control the market. They're not interested in selling because Bitcoin to them is what money will be in the future. So why would they want to swap it for the thing it's going to replace?
Take us very briefly through what steps people who are considering buying this cryptocurrency should take part in, especially here in South Africa.
I think step one is don't raise debt to do it. I've heard some horrible stories about South Africans going into debt so that they have money to buy Bitcoin with. That's a terrible thing to do. So I always say to people, don't risk more money than you can afford to lose. But if you have some money that you can afford to lose and you're willing to risk it, then the best place to start is Luno. Luno is the biggest exchange in South Africa. It's a company I helped build before I exited in 2015. They really are the good guys in this game. And with their apps on your iPhone or on your Android device or even on the web, they make it very easy and safe and legitimate for South Africans to buy and sell Bitcoin and trade in the currency. I'd also caution South Africans to please be very careful. There's a lot of hype around Bitcoin. Everybody's talking about it. And so there are a lot of scams and a lot of con artists that are using Bitcoin's name to try and steal your money. One of the most popular schemes at the moment is called BitConnect. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's not legitimate. You will lose your money if you put it into BitConnect. So be wary. Think about who it is who's asking for your money. Just because you see the word Bitcoin on it doesn't mean that it's actually a legitimate Bitcoin exchange or business that you're dealing with. So please be careful. Use Luno. If you're going to put your trust in someone, do a little bit of homework and find out who these companies are and what they're going to do with your money. And if you can, control your own keys. We can't get into the technicalities of Bitcoin. I don't think we've got time for that today. But control your private key for Bitcoin. If you can, use a hardware wallet. I recommend a device called a Nano S. It's made by a company called Ledger. They are available in South Africa. They can be scarce, of course, because everybody wants one now. But consider getting one of these hardware wallets and securing your Bitcoin investment yourself.
Simon Dingle, thanks so much for your time on SABC News.